event. We were really close with a particular partner, and it fell through at the last minute. So we're kind of going back to other parties that we had conversations with that are interested and seeing if there's a deal to be done there. We're fully intending to do something. We are particularly focused on it being the right partner, though. So we're probably a little bit more selective, maybe, than others. I don't expect that we'll have something done imminently, but I think over the course of this season, we will probably get something done, and maybe in time for next year. We're talking to 2 or 3 really interested companies, and we'll see where that progresses. I'm not going to say that yet, but it's looking more likely that it may be mid-year or for the next season. But we'll see.
Chris, to clarify, you can put that patch on at any point in the season. Is that
Yeah.
And my actual question, when can fans expect to see the 4th jersey? Do you guys have a timeline for that?
Yeah, right around the holidays. So this is kind of the season of the uniform. So we obviously rolled out 2 initially. We rolled out another one a couple weeks ago, and then we'll do the final one around the holidays.
Chris, the PK80 tournament, how much are you guys involved with that, and what are your thoughts on that coming up?
Oh, we're heavily involved with it. We're responsible for the event. We're responsible for tickets. We're responsible for sponsorship and operation. So we've been working very closely with all the parties, and it's going to be a phenomenal event. I mean, obviously, it doesn't happen that often where you get that many teams together. It's great that it's coming to Portland. It'll be interesting to see how the city of Portland handles all of these people coming into our community and going to an event with such a national stage like that. And it's been a long time in the planning process. Chris Oxley, who many of you know, works with us, is kind of leading the project, and we're excited for it. We think it's going to be a great event, and who knows what can happen in future years as it relates to future college basketball events as well.
Chris, back to jersey stuff. What's been the response or the team's intake of the response about the first 3 jerseys that Nike's rolled out for the team?
Well, the first 2 were pretty traditional. We didn't really do much to them except clean them up from a font perspective and the logo perspective. So we knew that would be pretty safe when we rolled those out. And depending on who you ask, if you go to Twitter on the 3rd one, there was some pretty interesting comments about our 3rd jersey that we launched, the 2-color, the black and red one. So it was a little bit more mixed. I think when people see them on the floor and see them in the store, they're going to be very, very popular. So what I try to do is just stay off Twitter because typically it's 90% negative. And maybe that was the case on this one, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see sales data as you go through the year, which one fans gravitate towards, and we'll have all that and be able to make our opinions based on what our fans purchase and what they want. So I'm curious to see how that goes throughout the season.
There was a story recently about the status of NBA teams and their finances. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
Could you, I guess, give us an update about the health of the Blazers from a financial standpoint? Sponsorships, ticket sales, and just generically speaking.
Yeah, I think the overall health of the league is going really well. I mean, as it relates to us, we're doing quite well. I mean, what we control from a local revenue perspective, tickets, sponsorship, food and beverage, all of those things are growing very well over the last 3 or 4 years. And, I think the article you're referencing was about the revenue share system that the NBA has. And the NBA is a revenue share league, and it's super important, particularly for small markets that maybe are a little bit disadvantaged, can't generate the local revenues that some of the bigger markets do. So yeah, we rely on a robust revenue sharing system. But that's part of the NBA, that's part of the business model, and funny enough, it's the system's going through a review right now, and I'm going to New York next week to have discussions about ways to tweak the revenue share system. So those are always great meetings. Teams have varying different perspectives on it, and it's obviously our hope that revenue share continues, and we'll continue to focus on the local stuff that we can control. And obviously, everyone knows about the national revenues, which have increased significantly with the new TV deals. So all in all, we feel like the league's growing in popularity, both nationally and internationally. It's a good time to be in the NBA. But those big system-related issues like revenue sharing are super important to the health of a league, and our perspective is that shouldn't change, and everyone should be mindful of that going forward.
Chris, every year, All-Star Game, any update on the status of the team's attempt to get a bid, if there is an attempt?
Yeah. Second attempt at getting a bid. So we were told by the league we won't be a finalist for the All-Star bids that were put out for bid. So that was unfortunate news from the league. I had good conversations with the NBA about the potential of getting one in the future, and they remain open-minded to it. But we're going to have to wait for another bid cycle to go. Do you have a follow? I think they put out 20, and then they're going to be putting out 21 as well. Yeah, we're not going to be in contention for either one of them. I was at a Oregon Sports Hall of Fame event last week where they were re-celebrating Harry Glickman, and there was a video about Harry's tenure at the Blazers, and some commentary from David Stern. And David Stern was mentioning that Harry must be on him all the time to get an All-Star game, and I told Harry that wasn't successful, but I could use his help to talk to Adam about potential ones. So it's kind of been a plight to get one to come to Portland. I think we deserve one. Our fans deserve one. Paul deserves one. And hopefully we'll continue to have positive conversations with the league. And, haven't really thought about bidding again, but it'll be hard not to. So when they put out future years, I'm sure we'll bid again. And, I'm encouraged by the hotel developments that are going on in the city. So I think there's a lot of good things happening that can hopefully position ourselves to get one at some point. And even having big national events like PK80 helps. So we'll continue pushing forward, and hopefully I'll be here for many more years to come. And one of those years will include an All-Star game. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So the earliest you can get one is 22? Yeah, when they put them out for bid.
Chris, in that article that we were talking about with revenue sharing, I think it was pointed out that Memphis took a full season to make as much money as in local revenues as the Lakers make each week. Where does Portland stack up as an NBA market, and how does the business of basketball do in this market compared to other similar sized markets, and how are you doing this year in terms of ticket sales?
Yeah, I mean, those discrepancies between market are real. I mean, those aren't made up numbers. I mean, the fact, and I've worked in big markets and I've worked in small markets, and there are bigger opportunities in some of the bigger cities. I mean, I always tell people, for example, here, we lose a sponsor, it's meaningful. In Los Angeles, we didn't want to lose sponsors, but if you did, you had 3 or 4 that were really interested and teed up to come have conversations. So we have to run a finer organization in terms of not being able to weather, those types of losses. So, I think what you read about or what you hear about is real. As it relates to the Trailblazers, we're buoyed by amazing fan support. I mean, you guys come to all of our games, and there aren't any nights where our building is empty. From that perspective, because we have great support, we do really well from a ticket revenue perspective. And we also do really well from a sponsorship perspective, even though we are a smaller market. We've been able to provide great value to partners. So you're actually seeing us sell less sponsorships, but they're for bigger amounts of money. So we have fewer sponsors than maybe 4 or 5 years ago than when I got here, but they're way more comprehensive deals. And I like that because it allows us to spend more time making sure people who support our organization through partnerships are getting our attention, and we're able to deliver results, because that's really what it's about. So the business of basketball in Portland is thriving, and we continue to do really well. And I wake up every morning thankful to the fact that people come to our games and support our team, really win or lose, since I've been here, which is amazing and not necessarily the case in other markets and other professional sports.
Any more questions for Chris?
What was your season ticket renewal rate?
It's like 94%. It's high. The people are coming back, and we can get the exact numbers for you, but it's one we're very grateful for. A little higher than that. Yeah, we're at a point where we're going to cap out season ticket sales and focus on providing some inventory for partial plans and groups and individual buyers, because we don't want to lock out, those types of fans. So we have to be very intentional about how we manage our inventory. So we're definitely in a good position and are making decisions like that now, as opposed to, hey, we got to sell as many season tickets as we want, which is a good place to be in. Thanks. That's it.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it. Thank you.